everyone, it is Delancey. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel, and welcome to the start of a reading vlog. I haven't done one of these in forever, so I am really excited to jump into this with you guys. It is currently Sunday night, and I'm meal prepping, and I'm just getting myself ready for the work week ahead, but I wanted to start the vlog now because I wanted to show you guys what is on my TBR. So on my physical TBR for this reading vlog, I have Lunar Love. This book came out pretty recently. It was my book of the month pick, I believe, for January, and I've heard really good things. There's definitely been a lot of hype about this book. It's an adult contemporary romance, and I don't know a whole lot, but what I do know is that it centers around a Chinese American girl who is taking over her family business, and she has a business rival. I believe they are involved in the matchmaking business, and the two of them try to matchmake each other and end up falling in love. It's an enemies to lovers trope, which is my favorite romance trope out there, so I am really excited to dive into this. It's really hard for me to read physical books these days because of work. I'm still trying to adjust to that, so I've been leaning on audiobooks as like a crutch for so long recently, and so that there's nothing wrong with audiobooks, but I definitely love nothing beats for me reading a physical book, so I'm hoping this book will help get me back in the habit. And then the final book on my TBR is actually going to be an audiobook, and it is called Please Look After Mom, and it is a piece of literary fiction originally published in South Korea, and it's highly critically acclaimed, very successful, millions of copies sold. It's the story of a mother who goes missing in the Seoul subway station, and I believe throughout the book we are bouncing around between the different perspectives of her family members as they try to find her. And I picked up this book because in the summer I'm actually taking a trip to Seoul, which I'm really excited for, and leading up to that trip I really want to make it a priority to read more books written by Korean authors, just because I feel like it would make me appreciate the trip more. So I'm not really sure what to expect from this one, but heard good things, so I think it'll be a nice kind of way to balance out Lunar Love, so stay tuned. Okay, meal prep is done. I want to just sit on the couch and do nothing, but I have to get ready for bed now, so I'm going to wash my face, get in my pajamas, do the dishes, lay out clothes for tomorrow, the whole shebang, and then I'll probably read right before I fall asleep. So I don't know if anyone else does this, but this is like background noise that I put on, and I like, if I'm not watching YouTube, the background YouTube I like to play is like gaming YouTube. So people like Plumbella, who I like to watch, who plays The Sims, and then any kind of content that has to do with Animal Crossing, I'll just put on the background while I'm like doing dishes and stuff like that. I don't even play those games that much anymore. I wish I did, I just don't have time, but I kind of just like to listen to other people play those games. I don't know if anyone else does that, but that is the ambiance for tonight. Hi you guys, how's it going? It is currently Monday at like 5 p.m. I got off of work about an hour ago, and I wanted to give you a reading update. I have made the most progress thus far on Please Look After Mom, just listening to that audiobook. The stylistic choices in this book are pretty unique, and they caught me off guard a little bit. Thus far, we have only gotten one perspective, and that is the perspective of one of the children of the missing mom. And thus far, the book has been entirely written in second person, which for me as a reader, I just have never experienced before. So everything is written like, your mom did this, you feel this way about your mom. And it may be because the book was translated over into English, but I think it's more so a stylistic choice on the author's part. And I can definitely see why the author did it, because I think it does serve to insert the reader into the character's life and make it feel like the missing mom is your mom. But I will say, at least at the 25% mark, from just a personal preference, I don't know if I really like it. I don't know if it really pulls me into the story as much as it kind of pulls me out. It's a little distracting and just awkward for me as a reader. But I'm hoping as I continue to go through the story, I'll just get used to that stylistic choice. But I did want to note that. Also, it's not a linear progression. Thus far, the story has really just been a hodgepodge of memories that this character has throughout their childhood as well as their adulthood, that these experiences that they've had with their mom. And again, stylistically, I see why it was done, but just a personal preference that I have always had as a reader is I tend to prefer my stories in, for the most part, a linear progression with maybe some flashbacks here and there. I don't really like it when authors jump around timelines too much. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with this story. That's all I really have to say. And now I am gonna head inside, have dinner, maybe do a little YouTube work, and then get into bed as soon as possible because I definitely want to make some progress today on Lunar Love. Good morning, everyone. Which tea are we doing this morning? I am not drinking coffee anymore, so I'm more of a tea gal, trying to get myself into tea, so I started a tea drawer. I also want to give you guys a reading update because I'm up to page 100 in Lunar Love, which I'm moving a little slower than I would like to, but that's just how it goes. I had kind of a tension headache last night, so I could only read so much. Really clever writing, and I really like the family dynamics in this book too. The way Olivia has taken over the family business, the way she interacts with her parents or her grandma is just really sweet and endearing. And I also really like the food descriptions in this book. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with Lunar Love. I feel like we're just still kind of getting the ball rolling. None of the spice or tension or conflict has, I feel like, fully kicked in yet. I am back from running errands and going to hot Pilates, which is why I look the way that I do. I did want to give you guys an update though, because I'm almost to the halfway mark for Please Look After Mom. And the good news is the whole second person perspective is only in that first chapter. So we switched over to the second chapter, which is from the perspective of one of the sons of the mom. And it's written in third person, which is like so much easier on my brain. And it's a little more linear. We're still getting, you know, a hodgepodge here and there, some like quick vignettes of different memories the son has had with the mom. But it's a lot easier for me to understand and listen to. I really feel like if you are going to pick up this book, it might be best to read the physical version, because I just don't know if audiobook really does it justice, and I feel like I would be able to follow the story better if I was reading it in a physical sense. The book does a really great job at showing all of the ways moms sacrifice and that there's nothing really quite like motherly love. There's nothing else really in this world quite like it. And just be prepared. It's definitely going to make you a little emotional and may make you think about your own mom. So that is where I'm at right now with the audiobook. I'm just finished making dinner. And fingers crossed, I have a couple of things I need to do on my computer tonight, and I of course need to shower. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some more reading done tonight. So I'm just gonna say that I eat really plain and I don't make any efforts to make my food look good. This is like butternut squash, like cut in a zigzag shape from Trader Joe's, and I made some ground beef and I threw that on top. And it's like part of that. I mean, that's like the main event, and use like meal prep containers. And every time I do this, I just think about this one friend that I used to have in college that would say that it's like I eat dinner out of a trough. So we're eating dinner out of a trough tonight. Nice. I just finished Please Look After Mom, the audiobook. I will start off by saying that I get why this book is critically acclaimed, because this was such a powerful story and such an interesting look. Like, I've never read a book that just really explored the incredible love that mothers have for their children and how moms give so much, and moms are expected to take care of everybody and be there for everyone, and yet unfortunately, so often, people don't in return look after their moms. I think if you also want to read a little bit about post-war Korea or learn more about life in the Korean countryside, I think this is also a great book for that. I think my favorite chapter, so it's like structured into 4 chapters, I think. So 4 different perspectives, 4 different family members. And I think the third one, which focused on the husband or the father in the family, was my favorite. I just feel like I connected with that one most emotionally, and just the interesting kind of dynamic in their marriage and how, I don't know, you got to read it. It's pretty powerful and it's pretty emotional too. That being said though, from personal preference, I'm not sure if I will really like remember this book. And I think that's just because of some of the stylistic choices. They're just not my personal preference. I also feel like this book would make such a good movie, like a really thought-provoking drama, and I'm almost surprised that it hasn't been turned into a movie yet. Though if it has, let me know in the comments because I would totally watch it. Overall, I could really appreciate this book and I would still recommend it to people. I just think from a personal preference, probably not for me, but I am really glad that I picked it up. Hi guys, I am back from work and it is so cold these days. I'm filming this video pretty early. I think this video is actually going to come out in the summer, but it's February right now and it's freezing. It was snowing yesterday and I just don't really have the will to move. Anyways, I came home and I got in my, I think these are called Snuggies, right? A Snuggie? And I got green socks on, so I'm quite the fashion icon tonight. The show that I'm really into right now is called Lockwood & Co. Has anyone else watched it? I think it came out pretty recently. And it's based off of a book series, like a middle grade book series, which I had no idea about. I'm like oddly very invested in this. I have this thing about ghost hunting shows. Like I love to watch Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel. Wow, work this week has been so much fun, but it has been so busy and I am exhausted. We had a huge event today and it went really well and I'm really satisfied, but by the end of the workday, I was like KO'd. And I'm heading to a Pilates class here in just a second, and I had a little time before class and I took a power nap in the car, and I like never do that, but the cat nap, it was necessary. But I do still have some extra time and I wanted to update you guys because I am halfway through Lunar Love. I've been reading this book on and off when I have time at night. And so far, so good. I feel like I haven't given you guys a really good synopsis of what goes on in this book. So like I said earlier, it's an adult contemporary romance. It's the story of a girl named Olivia. And at the start of the book, she takes over her family's business. And it's a matchmaking service. And they do their matchmaking through the Chinese zodiac system. And early on in the book, she comes across this guy named Bennett, and they kind of hit it off. There's a little competitive edge to them, a little back and forth, some fun banter. And she later finds out that he is actually the creator and owner of Zodiac Cupid, which is a new app that has just come on the scene. And it also does matchmaking through the Chinese zodiac system, but he has his own special twist on it, and it's not traditional per se. And Olivia really does not agree with how he's going about doing it, and it's also a huge threat to her own family business. So at the start of the book, she hatches this scheme that she's gonna date Bennett. She matches with him through the app, and she's gonna date Bennett, and she keeps her identity a secret, and the goal is to learn as much as she can about his business so that she can ultimately crash his business and save her own family. It's very cute. I haven't read an adult contemporary romance in a hot second. I'm glad I picked this one up because it is a really fun time. We're already halfway through, but I still feel like the story is still building. Like we haven't really gotten to the meaty middle yet. So I'm interested to see how it keeps progressing. I like their banter and I think they're very witty, and I definitely feel the tension, and it's very, very cute. For me personally, when I feel like true elite enemies to lovers, it's like, I almost in the beginning, I almost don't even want to feel or be aware of any kind of attraction they have towards one another. I want it to be, really competitive and a lot of butting heads. And from the beginning in this book, you kind of know that there is this tension and interest between the two of them. But again, it's kind of just a personal taste thing. It's still a really fun book. I really like Olivia as a female protagonist. I really like the moxie and the just kind of bite she has to her. She has very strong beliefs and she sticks by them. And she's very black and white. And I really like this kind of internal conflict that she's dealing with, where she believes firmly that there are black and white rules when it comes to compatibility and who you should be matched with and how love works. And her interactions with Bennett and her journey throughout this book are really challenging those beliefs. And it's just a really fun experience as a reader to kind of see her have that internal conflict and her grow as a person and as a professional in the matchmaking business. I tend to be very black and white myself, and I'm trying to learn every day that life is actually a little more gray, not so black and white, and I can really relate to her. So it's been a fun reading experience. So just keep chugging along and we'll see how this wraps up. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go to Pilates. I was wearing a beanie earlier, and I have markings on my forehead, so fingers crossed those go away. Oh, hey guys, it's Friday. Can you tell? I got off work and I went grocery shopping, and time is just flying by. I gotta do laundry still and like vacuum and kind of clean up this apartment a little bit. I feel like throughout the work week, my whole apartment just turns into like a tornado hits it, and then every weekend I just pick up the pieces. We're just getting everything together as much as we can, as much as I have the energy for, and then I really need to shower really badly. And then I'm gonna climb into bed tomorrow, go into a Pilates class, and then I'm gonna meet a friend for brunch. Oh, and I'm gonna go to volleyball clinic too. I'm trying to learn a new skill this year, trying to learn how to play volleyball. It's really hard. So whoever is good at volleyball, I have so much appreciation for what you do because you guys make it look so easy. So lots going on this weekend. Should be fun. Good morning. It's so cold. Let's go to Pilates. Yay.
It's the chicken and duck rice.
Oh, thank you.
So this is the ginger sauce for the chicken and the plum.
Hi you guys, it is the next day and I finished Lunar Love, so I wanted to share my final thoughts as well as wrap up the video for y'all. So for Lunar Love, if I had to give it a star rating, I'd probably give this a solid 3 stars. I felt like it took us so long to get to the peak of this book, and then the ending, for me, it seemed so quick, a little quicker than I would have liked. Really liked the witty banter between Bennett and Olivia, but I would have liked a little more to really sell me on the chemistry between the two of them, to really sell me on the fact that they do have such profound love for one another. I don't know if that is just deeper conversations or more experiences between the two, but I just wasn't entirely sold on their relationship. Additionally, Olivia's past plays such a huge role in why she is the way she is today. It plays such a huge role in that internal conflict that she's feeling throughout the book. And although we touch on those past mistakes, and we do get some kind of a little bit of a resolution to them at the end of the book, for me as a reader, it just didn't feel like enough. I would have liked a little bit more of an in-depth look into what exactly happened in the past. I would have liked that part of Olivia's story to be a little bit more present throughout the book, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like it was so fundamental to why she is the way that she is, and it was so fundamental to her character arc. Also, I want to note that the spice level or the hotness level in this book is pretty low. I would rate it maybe a 1 out of 5, which isn't a big deal for me as a reader, but if you're thinking of picking this book up, just know that ahead of time. On the pro side of things, I feel like there were so many great qualities to this book. You have a great cast of characters. I loved the concept, the family relations were very sweet. You could tell there is so much love put into this book. In the back, there is a Q&A with the author, at least with this Book of the Month edition, as well as some recipes for the various foods that are mentioned throughout this book, which all sound delicious. Also, Bennett is a fantastic book boyfriend, chef's kiss. He was top notch and I loved him in this book. And I'm pretty sure this was the author's first book. I definitely want to pick up the next book that she writes. I feel like the sky is really the limit for her, and I can't wait to see how she continues to grow and evolve as a writer. Yeah, a fun read. And then just to review, the audiobook that I listened to throughout this week was Please Look After Mom. This book was not really for me just due to stylistic choices, but I feel like the themes and the messages that were interwoven throughout the story are really important, really powerful. And I feel like I saw on Instagram Reels or TikTok that RM from BTS really recommends this book. I could be totally wrong, but if that's the case, that does make sense. I could could see why he would really like this. Also, if you want a look at post-war Korea, a little more of a deeper look into life in the Korean countryside, this could also be a great book to pick up. Really glad I did. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more book content, I will go ahead and link it for you guys to check out, and have a great rest of your day. Bye guys.